first thing I wanted to talk about was books bound in human flesh. Now, the idea of a book having a fleshy cover is kind of something that it's one of those things that I think you would expect to be real, and you wouldn't be surprised to know that they actually exist, but for the most part, we see them appear in horror movies or horror novels or things like that, where it's like the Necronomicon, it's bound in the flesh of a tortured human, and so on and so forth. They do have pretty good provenance. Providence? I know I never get that word right. I think it's provenance, like the history of something. They do have pretty good provenance on human-covered books. Books with human skin covers. As of 2016, there are 47 supposed books that the cover's flesh. 18 have been confirmed to have the flesh, 14 have been disproved, and others are currently being tested. I don't know why it's taken them so long. Just run it. A normal book cover does not have DNA. If it has DNA, it is human. There. I just saved you guys a ton of time. What's weird, though, so you go, okay, Jason, yeah, there's books bound in human flesh, no big deal. What's bizarre is the small amount of them. Now, I thought they'd be everywhere, because people have been around forever. Books have been around for, since the Gutenberg press, roughly? And I love it how you can often see the gaps in my history. But, so books were around probably like 1400 AD forward, but there's always been like tablets and papyrus and like scrolls. I'm sure scrolls are made of human flesh, but they say we only have these 47 books. 1568 was apparently the first time that they're like, this is the oldest book with human flesh. It was a medical book, and that was actually quite common. It was medical books that mostly have been discovered having human flesh covers. Because medical staff had easy access to cadavers, I would be really cautious to go to a doctor who all of his patients have an 8x12 patch cut out of their skin. I mean, not his alive patients, but he's like, you're obviously the medical guy, the dude doing the tannery, gives it to the mortician. The mortician's like, why is this guy always missing a pea cheese binder size of skin from his torso? Whatever, I'll just burn the body. So a lot of these were medical texts. There were a couple famous ones. So, the gunpowder plot in England, remember the 5th of November, Guy Fawkes, all that stuff. One of the guys who was caught up in that, his name was Henry Garnet. He in 1606, when he was executed, they made a book out of his skin about the event. So, I mean, that's, throwing salt on the wound. Your failed event, and then we're going to immortalize it in a book, and the cover is your skin. There was rumors during the French Revolution that there was a tannery set up just outside of town, basically, where they were cutting skin off people to make books. And so again, sure, that was probably just a rumor, but you think there would still be more than these 47 books. Now, you had the medical doctors doing it. You had condemned prisoners. Their skin was also being turned into books. There's two famous examples. There was this guy named James Allen. He went by the alias George Walton, and there's a book called The Highwayman, Narrative of the Life of James Allen, alias George Walton. And it's by James Allen, who, when he was dying, he's like, I want you to take this book. I want you to use my skin to make the cover. And the people are like, okay, I guess. And he's like, and then, this happened in 1837. That's why I'm doing an old-timey voice. But he's like, I got the consumption and other old-timey diseases, plus I'm being executed for my crimes all at the same time, and I wrote this book, I want you to put my human skin, my epidermis for the cover, and okay. So I want you to give this book to this dude who I tried robbing once, and he was so brave, I want him to have my skin book. Now, that's cool and all. I don't know if I would want that. Like, if some guy put a gun in my face, an old-timey gun, like a big old revolver, and I was brave, which is cool, and I survived, and then years later, I get a book in the mail, and it's his biography, and I'm like, oh, that's interesting. I wonder if I'm in it, and then you touch it. You realize the cover has follicles. Yeah, I don't think so. The other interesting, I don't understand this. Do not understand this example of a human skin book. It is the biography of Abraham Lincoln, bound in the human skin of, and this isn't my word, this is the word off Wikipedia. It is bound with the skin of a Negro. So I think you're kind of missing the point of what Abraham Lincoln was trying to do. It's like, hey, remember when that president freed all those slaves? Here's one of them. Here's this book. Why would you, who was thinking that through? But apparently you can read a biography of the life of Abraham Lincoln, and the cover is made out of the skin of a black man. Super bizarre. Now, here's the thing. Like I said in the beginning, I think there's far more books out there than these 47 that are made with human skin. In the article I was reading, they said there's a lot of legends of books of erotica and occult manuals being bound in human flesh, but that's mostly just rumors. I'm sure there's a ton of them. I'm sure there is a lot of especially occult books that are bound in human flesh, because why not? We've been around for so long, we've been bookbinding for so long. I'm sure there are not like vast amounts. It's not like a Barnes and Noble of human skin, but I'm sure there are a lot of books out there, because these books are the ones that are like in libraries. But if you had a personal collection of erotica bound in the human skin of young maidens, or you had like dark grimoires I'm sure there's even probably Bibles bound in human flesh. I'm sure that there are just mainstream religious texts that are like, oh yes, this one's made out of some priest dude who fell over, and I figured no one was going to discover the body. He always wanted to be in the Bible, so now he is the cover. I'm sure they're actually, not when I say common, I don't mean like comparatively to all the total of book bindings in the world, but I would bet money there's more than 47 books out there that have a cover made from a living human, a previously living human. But dude, just do a DNA test, and it's a human, or it's cardboard, or maybe like a lamb. It really shouldn't be that hard. It shouldn't take you that long to figure out how many books have human flesh on them. That's a good reason to get tattoos. That way, if your skin ever gets turned into a book cover, it's beautiful. It's already illustrated. That was a clip from our daily podcast, Dead Rabbit Radio. Dead Rabbit Radio is available anywhere that you listen to podcasts. It's daily paranormal, conspiracy, and true crime news. If you want to hear the full episode that this clip came from, check the link below. Please like and subscribe. And hit that little bell, too. That does some magical stuff. Thanks, guys.